Hi, I'm Susan Methvin, and this is my review of the article titled Making Legally Sound Placement Decisions. Dr. Clinton asked us to read this and explain how we can use IDEA as a compass when we are making, or in order to make legally sound placement decisions. So I think the best thing to do, I'm going to go back to the summary at the end of the article because all the key details are there. It says that IDEA requires that after developing an IEP for a student with a disability, a placement team composed of the student's parents and persons knowledgeable about the child, their evaluation, and their placement and the placement options within the school district determines the student's placement. Because these requirements are met by a student's IEP team, in practice, it's the IEP team that usually makes that placement decision. Three important requirements in determining placement are that A, the student's placement should be determined only after the IEP is developed. B, the placement decision must be based on the student's individual needs. And C, a student's placement must be in the LRE, the least restrictive environment. When school district teams adhere to the placement requirements of the IDEA and avoid making serious mistakes such as predetermining placement, a student's IEP team can ensure that it's making legally sound decisions regarding that student's placement. So we have to follow the rules, determining placement according to the individual needs of the students. Well, how do we do that? Well, as stated in the article, there is no one-size-fits-all approach to educating with children with disabilities. So then what? Well, we have to look at all the data that we have about that child. We have to look at their evaluation, the most recent evaluation. We have to look at their any kind of testing that we might, or any assessment scores we might have available, such as iReady. We look at their milestones assessments from any previous years that are included in their current IEP. And then we formulate an instructional plan that serves that student only. And then their placement in the least restrictive environment can be determined. Well, there are a number of questions to determining appropriate placement in the least restrictive environment, and the article includes a chart asking that helps you to determine that. I'm not going to read everything there, but it's figure 4 and it's titled Questions to Determining Appropriate Placement in the Least Restrictive Environment. It begins with: what supplementary aids and services and program modifications does a student require to be educated in the least restrictive environment? And then it goes on to list 8 more. Then there's the LRE principle, which says that children with disabilities, including children in private and public institutions or other care facilities, are educated with children who are not disabled. And that special classes, separate schooling, or other removal of children with disabilities from the regular educational environment occurs only when the nature or severity of the disability is such that education in regular classes with the use of supplementary aids and services cannot be achieved satisfactorily. There are 2 parts to the LRE principle. One is the right to be educated with students who are not disabled. 2 is that it can be damaging to place a student in an integrated setting when it will not result in them receiving a free and appropriate education. The placement team should always consider the continuum of alternative placements, which include, this is another chart in the article, it is figure 2. It's titled The Continuum of Alternative Placements. It says each public school district must ensure that a full continuum of educational placement is available to meet the needs of students with disabilities. The continuum includes instruction in the general education classroom, special classes, special schools, home instruction, or instruction in hospitals and institutions. All of these must be considered. So what does it mean to provide supplementary aid services and program modifications to maintain students in that least restrictive environment? Well, it might include providing training to general education teachers, providing assistive technologies such as text-to-speech, consultation using paraprofessionals, instruction in a resource room, and the use of itinerant teachers, speech-language therapists, vision therapists are also considered supplementary aids and services to be provided to keep students in the general education classroom when appropriate. The article also includes 7 additional placement requirements of IDEA. I'm going to let you read those on your own because I'm at 6 minutes now. But thank you. I hope you have enjoyed my summary, and I look forward to watching yours.